seek refuge in Allah against shaitan the rejected. I begin with the name of Allah, the eternal source of mercy and grace. I greet you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon one and all of you. So welcome to our third session tonight. We're doing Nabi Nuh, and that will be done by Brother Sadiq. Just before we go into the story of Nuh alayhi salam, let's just revise one or two essential points. So, you know, what we said is that we're going to focus on the Quran when looking at the story or the stories of certain prophets. And I'd like to ask you now, right, or think about this. What verse or verses deal with why Allah has revealed the stories of the prophets in the Quran? If you know this, we're okay. We can go home. I'm joking. You can proceed. Remember, I gave you a tip last week. I'm sure everyone remembers that.
Surah Yusuf.
Surah Yusuf. Last verse of Surah Yusuf. And Surah Yusuf will come to mind. Why? Because it's Ahsan al-Qasas. Now we're dealing with the Qasas al-Anbiya, the stories of the Prophet. So you look at Ahsan al-Qasas, the most beautiful story, and it's in Surah Yusuf. Or Yusuf alayhi salam in Surah Yusuf. You go to the last verse of Surah Yusuf, and you find that verse, Allah tells you why He revealed the stories, why He narrates the stories. And then there's one more verse. It's also
Before that.
yeah. Anyone?
It's verse 120 of Surah Hud.
Okay. Now, what do you remember then?
It says, all that we relate to you of the stories of the prophets, what it we make from your heart in them, there comes to you the truth as well
Very
as
good.
an exhortation and a message of remembrance to those who believe.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So the one you found was in Surah Yusuf. That's Ahsan al-Qasas. And the second one you find in Surah Hud. But how will you remember where to find it? Like, you know,
Before Surah.
the one before Surah Yusuf, the surah before Surah Yusuf, right? And that's where you look at these two verses before you start out your study on the Qasas, on the prophets of Allah, because this now gets you in the right frame of mind to understand why Allah is telling you these stories. And when you approach the Quran with that, you start drawing out lessons in all of the Anbiya instead of just looking for historical regurgitation. So without any further ado, let me call Brother Sadiq to do tonight's lesson on Surah Nuh, and we can then go on for some questions and comments. Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Nuh alayhi salam is perhaps one of the most famous prophets, and I'm sure everyone is familiar with the story. So before I begin, I just want to ask, can someone give me some facts of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam story? Just three I'm looking for. What happened? I'm sure everyone knows. A flood. What else?
His age,
His age, yes.
animals on
Animals that were saved. Anything? I think that's what everyone knows about the story in general. It's a quick. So there's the flood, Noah Islam and his followers, and the animals are saved in the ark, and he lived for about 950 years. And this is, I think, probably known to us because it is also his story is found in the Bible. So the Jews and the Christians also know his story. So he's not necessarily only a prophet of Islam, but the prophet of everyone else. Nuh alayhi salam is one of the earliest prophets. He's probably the first, or one of the first after Adam alayhi salam. In the Quran, he is the first story of the prophet that we do get in the Quran. There isn't any other earlier prophet that people believe in. From his story, we'll see that there was opposition to what he did. He didn't just go to people and everyone believed him. People opposed what he taught. If you look at this story and you compare it to the other prophets that came after him, and you saw there's a lot of similarities in this. And Nuh alayhi salam set a precedent that the other prophets follow. In fact, we can actually just do a quick study of this. You can look at Surah 26, verse 106. On page 257. Is everyone there? Okay, I'll just read quickly, right? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. The people of Nuh rejected the messengers. Behold, their brother Nuh said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? I am to you a messenger worthy of all trust. So fear Allah and obey me. No reward will ask for you for it. My reward is only from the Lord of the worlds." Okay, and it continues, and then we carry on. Turn the page, verse 123. The Ad people rejected the messengers. Behold, their brother Hud said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? I am to you a messenger worthy of all trust. So fear Allah and obey me. No reward will ask for you for it." If you go down, verse 141. The Thamud people rejected the messengers. Behold, their brother Saleh said to him, "Will you not fear Allah? I am to you a messenger worthy of all trust. So fear Allah and obey me. No reward will ask for you for it." If you go further on, there's I think one or two other prophets, and you see something very similar. So you see it was the same thing that happened continuously, but Nuh alayhi salam was perhaps the first of these prophets that went to the prophet, gave them the same message, told them the exact same thing, and yet the people rejected them. So what was the message of Nuh alayhi salam? You can read this verse from Surah 42. The same religion has he established for you as that which he enjoined on Nuh, which you have sent by inspiration to you, and that which you have enjoined on Ibrahim, Musa, and Isa, namely that you should remain steadfast in religion and make no divisions therein. To those who worship other things than Allah, hard is the way to which you call them. Allah chooses to himself those whom he pleases, and guides to himself those who turn to him. So we see that the message was quite simple, and it was the same message that we have here today. It's the same message that went to all the other prophets as well. So a lot of times we see that if you ask the people who are the followers, what are the followers of Musa alayhi salam called, they'll say perhaps Jews, or what are the prophets of Isa alayhi salam, we'll say Christians, but actually they were all Muslims like us, because it is the same message. If you look at what is the summary of the message, we said Nuh to his people, he said, "My people, worship Allah, you have no other God but Him. I fear for you the punishment of a dreadful day." And that's basically the most simplest message that we have. It is that we should worship Allah alone, except no one as partner, because no one is worthy of being his partner. And the second point is we need to believe in our accountability. If we believe that we will be judged on the day of judgment, that our life here is temporary and has an ultimate destination for us in our afterlife, then that completes our faith, because it will determine how we live our own lives. So some of the key features that it starts again, like I said, Nuh alayhi salam set a precedent. It starts with Nuh alayhi salam. And let's look at the first one, Surah 7, verse 63. So on page 103. Do you wonder that there has come to you a message from your Lord through a man of your own people to warn you, so that you may fear Allah and happily receive His mercy? So we see that the prophets that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to mankind, like Nuh alayhi salam, was from the community itself. They weren't foreigners or they weren't angels. And this is important because firstly, you see the people will see someone from their own community, they can trust him, they know his background, they know his family or whatever it is. So it will be someone that they can trust. And then, so that he can be a role model for them. And he can be a role model for them because he grew up in perhaps the same conditions as he grew up. It's not like he came from a different land or something that he had a different condition, so that's why he could believe. He grew up with the same, everything that was around was the same beliefs probably, and the same actions that they do, the same rituals or whatever it is that they were doing. And yet he changed and became a Muslim through the guidance of Allah. He became the Prophet. And if he can change, if he can follow a different way of life to what they are doing, it shows that it is possible for them to do the same. The second point is he expected no reward from the people. We look at Surah 11 verse 29. So page 147. And O my people, I ask you for no wealth in return. My reward is from none but Allah. I will not drive away and condemn those who believe, for surely they are to meet their Lord. And you, I see, are the ignorant ones. So even the passage that we read earlier from Surah Shura, you see that all the prophets asked no reward for what they were doing. They didn't do it they did it solely to please Allah. That was their mission, so they accomplished the mission. And it's important for us today, when we do something good or we join a community project or whatever, we should ask ourselves, why are we doing it? Are we doing it to get some recognition or a position of power, or that the people will give us favors because they say, oh, this person is doing good work, or for money or whatever it is? If we're doing it for not for anything else other than for the pleasure of Allah, then it is easy for us to lose our focus. It's easy for us to be bought out and lose our way. So something to always keep in mind, why are we doing the things? Okay. There are a lot of similarities to the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the prophets and Nuh alayhi salam as well. Let's look at the first one, Surah 71 verse 23.
Okay.
411 right on top. And they have said to each other, abandon not your gods, abandon neither Wad nor Suwa, neither Yaguth or Ya'uq or Nasr. They have already misled many and grant you no increase in the wrongdoers, no increase to the wrongdoers, but in straying from the mark. The next one is, he was also called a madman. Surah 23, verses 25 to 26. So on page 236. And some said, he is only a man possessed. Wait and have patience with him for a time. Nuh said, oh my Lord, help me, for then they accuse me of falsehood. So you see that he had difficulties. The people always resisted him. And let's look at Surah 26 verse 116. Page 257. They said, if you desist not, O Nuh, you shall be stoned to death. He said, oh my Lord, truly my people have rejected me. So from these three, we can easily see the similarities from the life of the Prophet ﷺ. They were the people that they were all, that both of them were sent to idol worshippers. They accused the prophets of Allah of being mad or possessed, and they even threatened their lives. So these points, it was very important for this story to reach the Prophet ﷺ, because when he reads them, he'll realize, when he's at a time of difficulty, you look at the stories and realize that it's not only him that has gone through this, it's all of the other prophets of Allah as well that had to go through these difficulties, had to be called mad or possessed, had to go through torture, whatever it is, so that it can console him and give him hope and let him continue. So the methods of dawah, how did Noah alayhi salam preach or do his work? Surah 71 verses 5 to 9 reads, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. He said, "O my Lord, I have called to my people night and day, but my call only increases their flight from the right. And every time I have called to them that you may forgive them, they have only thrust their fingers into their ears, covered themselves up with their garments, grown obstinate and given themselves up to arrogance. So I have called to them aloud, further I have spoken to them in public and secretly in private." Here we see that Noah alayhi salam held public gatherings, he had private gatherings. He spoke to people one-on-one. He met people in the morning, he met people at night to suit whatever the people wanted. He tried every possible method he could think of, and yet the people rejected. Today we are more fortunate. We have print media, we have the radio, we have TV. Nowadays we have smartphones, the internet. We can make videos and we can broadcast messages, and our message can reach millions of people in a few seconds. Here we see that Noah alayhi salam tried every method he can. It is a lesson for us to use all that we have available, like the new social media platforms that we have as well, to try and spread the message of Allah so that we can, like Noah alayhi salam tried to save the people, we can also do our part as it is our duty as well. Noah alayhi salam, we all said at the beginning that was a very long time on earth. Surah 29 verse 14, we once sent Nuh to his people and he tarried among them 1,000 years less 50, but the deluge overwhelmed them while they persisted in sin. 950 years. I don't think anyone can imagine that. We can't even imagine living for 100 years. And yet Noah alayhi salam lived among his people and preached the message to them. Just think about it. We can't imagine how can he do that, especially since the people didn't listen to him. They threatened him and whatever they put him through. It just shows the amount of patience that he had, the amount of perseverance he had after being mocked and threatened, that he did not abandon his task and still kept on. This is the dua of Noah alayhi salam. And Nuh said, "O my Lord, leave not of the unbelievers a single one on earth. For if you do leave any of them, they will but mislead your devotees, and they will breed none but wicked, ungrateful ones." This seems quite harsh, I'm sure. If you read that, think about it. Don't leave not one of them on earth, but it was necessary. Think about a parasite carrying some disease which is contagious. It is incurable, and it will just spread and infect other people as well. It must be eradicated. Similarly, these people were so far gone from in their evil ways that they would have just spread the wickedness to other people as well, and it would just have been spreading uncontrollably. We can look at Surah 70, verse 40 and 41. So page 409. Now I do call to witness the Lord of all points in the east and the west, that we can certainly substitute for them better men than they, and we are not to be defeated in our plan. So it is a message to us also that it is the way of Allah that when we do not follow His ways, when we are evil, that He can substitute in our place better people that will follow what He wants to do and be better than us in the actions. Surah 11 verse 37, construct an ark under our eyes in our inspiration, and address me no further on behalf of those who are in sin, for they are about to be overwhelmed in the flood. Here we see that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Noah alayhi salam to construct the ark, it shows that his people's fate was sealed already. They had gone past the point of return. Whatever he may have tried, none of them would have listened to what he had to say. Surah 23 verse 27, so inspired him with this message: construct the ark within our sight and under our guidance. Then when comes our command and the fountains of the earth gush forth, take you on board pairs of every species, male and female, in your family, except those of them against whom the word has already gone forth. And address me not in favor of the wrongdoers, for they shall be drowned in the flood. So, like at the beginning, we said that the animals and the righteous were saved. In Surah 11, verse 44, then the word went forth, O earth, swallow up your water, and O sky, withhold your rain. And the water abated, and the matter was ended. The ark rested on Mount Judy, and the word went forth, away with those who do wrong. This is one of the few places we probably have some detail of a story, especially in Noah alayhi salam. We have a location mentioned, and that is where the ark rested. Mount Judy is on the Ararat mountain region. It's in the Turkey area, and this is a picture from one of the book where researchers found what they think could be the ark of Noah alayhi salam. If you look at the previous verse, it says that take your family with you, except those whom the word has proved has gone forth. If you look at Surah 66 verse 10, we will see that the wife of Noah alayhi salam wasn't among those on the ark. On page 402. Allah sets forth for an example to the unbelievers the wife of Nuh and the wife of Lut. They were respectively under two of our righteous servants, but they were false to their husbands, and they profited nothing before Allah on their account, but were told, enter the fire along with others that enter. And in Surah 11, verse 42 to 43, we'll see his son also. On page 148. So the ark floated with them on the waves, towering like mountains. And Nuh called out to his son, who had separated himself from the rest, O my son, embark with us, and be not with the unbelievers. The son replied, I will take myself atop some mountain. It will save me from the water. Nuh said, Thursday nothing can save from the command of Allah any but those on whom He has mercy. And the waves came between them, and the son was among those overwhelmed in the flood. So these verses show us that we can't always guide whom we love. Even those that are with us every day, they may not necessarily follow the way that we do or want them to do. And it's also quite striking that Noah alayhi salam only had a few followers, but even his close family weren't among those followers. We look at another verse, Surah 64, verse 14. So page 398. O you who believe, truly among your wives and your children are some that are enemies to yourselves. So beware of them, but if you forgive and overlook and cover up their faults, surely Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. So you see, Noah alayhi salam was unfortunate that in this case that his wife and his children weren't with him. Here we see another dua of Noah alayhi salam. Verse 28 of Surah 71. O my Lord, forgive me, my parents, all who enter my house in faith, and all believing man and believing woman, and to the wrongdoers grant you no increase but in perdition. Here we see something of the character of the prophets. We see how soft they were, how they cared for the people and the believers. We see something very similar from the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam as well. And that's the first part I would like to concentrate on. Oh my Lord, forgive me. These prophets, if you think of anyone that can be like the best examples for us to follow, it will be the prophets of Allah. And yet, to us they maybe be perfect, but they never thought to themselves that they are perfect. They didn't have a holier than thou attitude that some of us can have. They were humble. They pray to Allah for forgiveness, and it's a lesson for us as well that you always need to pray to Allah for forgiveness and be humble, like the prophets did. So the summary or conclusion of Noah alayhi salam's story: we should try all methods for dawah, prepare to face opposition, even from those whom we love, do good for the sake of Allah, have sabr to attain success. Surah 11 verse 49. Such are some of the stories of the unseen which we have revealed unto you before this. Neither you nor your people knew them. So persevere patiently, for the best end result is for those who are righteous. This verse is the concluding verse in a set of verses dealing with Noah alayhi salam. So I think that the most important thing that we can learn from Noah alayhi salam's story is that we need to have sabr, have patience and perseverance, never give up. And this is, if you look at Noah alayhi salam, 950 years. We will give up within a month maybe of trying something. So that's, I think, perhaps the message that we always, if we take any message from this, from his story, is this. You would have noticed that the verses that we went through, Surah 71, is 71 Surah Nuh, but most of the verses were in other surahs as well. It's just a note that we've gone through the other courses as well, is that you won't find the story of anyone besides Yusuf alayhi salam in one place. And for further reading of yours, in the note that will come out just now, you will see that there is a table of key points of the story of Noah alayhi salam, and you can read it in your own time. Okay, shukran. Assalamu alaikum.